Okay. Hello and welcome to the first in a series of webinars by digitalfirst.com for Accounting Business Expo, opening in March on the 20th in sunny Sydney. My name is Sholto Macpherson. I'm editor of digitalfirst.com and head of content for Accounting Business Expo. Thanks very much for spending your lunch hour, eating a sandwich at your desk, listening into this webinar. Today, we're going to talk with one of the presenters from the Accounting Business Expo on a really fantastic topic that I think is so important to so many accountants. And our guest today is Sarah Lawrence from Hot Toast, and she's talking about the importance of specialisation. And her session is why specialisation is a powerful strategy for any firm. It's on 3:50 p.m. on Thursday, the 21st of March at the Accounting Business Expo in Darling Harbour. Sarah, how are you going?
I'm good, thank you. And thank you for that introduction. Amazing.
You know what? This is such a fantastic topic because you see so many accountants always want to talk about how do I stand out? I'm doing the same thing as everyone else. I hang out there, put my sign saying doing tax returns. Why does someone choose me? That's really the question. What I wanted to know is, did you start out that way, or did you know from the beginning that you wanted to specialise?
So I knew from the beginning that I wanted to specialise, and that came about because I come from a commercial world. So I've held FC positions and management accounting positions, and now also CFO positions in the creative world. So for me, I mean, way back when I started in auditing, and I was like, this is not for me. And at that time I was like, what's the most interesting industry I could think of at like 21? And for me, that was TV. So that's how I kind of ended up in the TV Film Australia, and I did really like the journey and really being able to add value to that journey from a financial lens. So it really wasn't a decision. It was just, if I'm going to do my own thing, it's going to be in this world because I just love it so much.
It's a bit of an unfair advantage, isn't it? Because you're already starting with this industry knowledge, right? Like a lot of accountants will be coming the other way. They'll be like, well, I've gone straight to practice and now I've got to try and pick an industry. But you 100%,
already 100%. I'm going to say it is definitely an unfair advantage, but I mean, I guess that's also one of the things I'd say to other people is that I love the space that I work in, and I love the people and our team. And I think if you are considering something like that, then find something that resonates with you. Find something that you love, or an industry that kind of piques your interest. I mean, I'd wager that a lot of accountants and bookkeepers out there, if they do look at their current client list, they're probably going, you know what, I do have a lot of lawyers on my list, or I do have a lot of tradies on my list. I think people naturally gravitate to what interests them and what interests them basically. So unfair advantage, absolutely.
Well, let's just stop and talk about what exactly you do for the creative industry, because it's more than just, isn't it? You can go deeper.
So what we do is really, we're kind of that outsourced finance function. So we're kind of everything from that bookkeeping up to that CFO level. It's kind of giving small businesses in the creative industry a fully flexed finance team without having to have them in-house and having the cost associated with it. So, we do everything, like I said, at that granular level with the bookkeeping, and then all the way up to kind of that strategy level of, we do take a really holistic approach with our clients of, what are the numbers telling me, and how does this translate with the rest of the business? What's the value that I can bring as a finance person in the room, to get you where you need to be going. So that's, excuse me.
And you can do that. And you can, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt that, but you can do that in a deeper way than you could if you're dealing with creatives one day and lawyers the next and someone else after
100%,
that.
100%.
Why is that?
Why? Because basically, when I'm dealing with my clients, I mean, I've got context, you know, I'm out there on the ground, I'm going to industry events, I'm basically diving deeper into the data at a level that I would assume a lot of other accountants and bookkeepers probably couldn't, given that they're looking at, you know, a couple of different or a few different industries. And so what diving into the data at that level really does is it just gives you a benchmark. It gives you a really good starting point with your clients around, okay, well, how are you doing, you know, compared to the industry? You know, what does that mean in terms of your strategy? So it's kind of being able to ask those questions and really give them, like, you know, insights into how they can leverage that information to do what they do better. So, you know, I spend a lot of additional time basically pounding the pavement and reaching out to influencers and people in the industry so that I can kind of sit down in front of them and go, you know, what are your pain points? What's going on? What are the movements in the industry? And try to bring all of that back together when we sit with clients and say, well, you know, this is the whole picture, and how can we have this information work for you and your business to get you where you want to be. So
Hang on, did you just say you're doing research into the industry, creative industry, to work out how to help?
No, not really. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say this. I would just say I take a lot of coffee. I reach out, you know, I mean, it's a little different for me because, you know, I love the creative work that goes on. You know, when I say, also, I'll just clarify, when I say the creative industries, that's a huge umbrella. Hot toast, 95% of our client base is agencies, so digital design and full service agencies, and production. So short films, long formats, TVCs, passion projects. So for me, you know, I know a lot of the industry. You know, for me, it's about getting out there and understanding, you know, what's the creative out there and what's the opportunities that I can bring back to my clients, you know, and kind of help them leverage that. So
what sort of opportunities do you bring back? I mean, this seems like a very unorthodox role for an accountant to play.
Really? See, I don't see it as an unorthodox role. I think when you throw yourself into something like a CFO role, and I feel like, you know, the CFO role is all encompassing. I don't feel like it's just about the numbers anymore. I feel like it's about leveraging opportunities for your clients. So for me, you know, getting out there and talking about people's pain points and, you know, big agencies that are losing clients, new technology that's hitting the market, you know, how can we bring that back in? And, you know, it always comes back to the numbers, Sholto. You know, like, it's always like, these are the opportunities. What does it look like from a numbers point of view so that we can leverage it? So I don't think that's unorthodox. I feel like that's been a big part of my role in getting out there and, you know, making that happen for my people, really.
Well, if I suggest the orthodox thing is to bill for your time, and it sounds like you're investing a lot of time that isn't actually billed by the hour. If you're getting out there under your own steam and meeting with influencers who aren't actually customers for the benefit of your customers, that's not chargeable time, that sounds unorthodox to me, isn't it?
Yes. I feel like that's one way to look at it. But given the way that I charge my clients, and the advice and the level of advice that I give my clients, I feel like that goes hand in hand with being able to charge them more. So, you know, there is a return on investment for me going out there and understanding the industry and getting involved in the industry in that kind of way. So that, you know, I bring back to my clients and I feel like they have a competitive advantage, and then we turn around and, you know, and then I charge for the value. So.
Okay, well, let me just play devil's advocate for a moment. Imagine when you're just about to set up your firm and we're going to go focus on creative industry and talk to an accountant at an event, and they say, you're crazy. You know, Australia's only got 30 million people in it, and you can't specialise because there's not enough businesses in that one field, and no one makes movies in Australia anyway. And so how can you just focus on doing creatives, because it's not Hollywood, it's not anywhere else. How are you going to find enough customers? Not going to be enough customers.
You know, I don't think that's the way that look. I think if you look at any production company at the moment in 2019, you will see that what they offer out to the marketplace isn't probably, it's not like London where there's a huge booming documentary industry and there's so many specific documentary firms out there. If you talk to a lot of the directors, the creative directors in Australia, they're doing TVCs and they're doing longer formats and shorter formats, and a lot of the TVC work is funding their passion projects. So look, it's understanding what's going on in the industry and understanding that, maybe getting a balance in their service offering so that they can, and that is a lot of what I do. A lot of what I do is helping creatives get the right balance between the financial and the creative so that they can still do what they love and, and put their passion projects out there and still make money doing it. Like there's a lot of creatives out there that are not, they've spent years and years not making a lot of money at all. So, and that's where I feel like what our role is to be able to step up and go, okay, well, let's get the balance right for you so you can do both.
So if I'm an accountant who wants to get into a niche and I've decided my niche is going to be dentists, what would you recommend my first step would be?
So with dentists, well, look, I would say do a little bit of research. I feel like the value that I've seen from Hot Toast comes from pushing ourselves out there into the industry and getting really familiar with the pain points and the levers. If you don't understand those, then how can you advise on those? So I'd also say find something, like I said before, find something that you love. If it's dentists and dental hygiene and you love the industry and you love that area, then yeah, throw yourself into a certain extent, like that you're only going to be as good as the advice that you can kind of give them, and it's not an easy strategy to execute, like I've spent, years and years and years trying to get to a place where I can be seen as an expert in this industry. So, I'd say throw yourself into it, get out there, meet people, understand what's, talk to your current client lists that are dentists and really start to form a kind of a benchmark around the data and how you can leverage that into advice. I would say don't go with a cookie cutter approach. Use it as a starting point with your data. Don't go, oh, yeah, I found the formula. I'm going to turn around and give this approach to every single dentist or dental clinic that's out there. It's a starting point. Every firm, to a certain extent, is different, and you need to listen to the owners. And advisory is not just about you; it's about the owner. What are their pain points? What's their strategy? Where are they heading? So that would be a little bit of advice, I'd say.
So when interesting, you say it's a hard strategy to execute. So what was hard about specialisation? You had to be an expert in what?
I think when I started out 3 years ago, I was like, this is going to be easy. And I saw other firms starting out at the same time, and they were like doubling their turnover and they had really fast growth. You've got a niche strategy, which means that everything else is niche around it, which means your marketing strategy is niche, like you're pointing your efforts into one part of the industry. So I think it just took a little bit of a beat to kind of get a bit of traction. But now, the majority of the work that we get in is via referrals. It's word of mouth. It's people talking to people going, wow, have you heard about Hot Toast? Do you know what they did for us? They drove efficiencies by X amount. Oh, wow, they got our pricing on point. That's why it just took a little bit of time for us to kind of get out there and kind of cement our place in the industry.
So one of the things that I instantly thought is that we spent these years becoming an expert. Does that then lock you into a smaller business because there's so much key person risk in your knowledge? Like, how can you add a team if they're not all experts in creative as well?
Well, I mean, that comes down to training, and that comes down to picking the right people and picking the right players. Like, everyone's got problems with trying to find great talent out there. I'm really lucky that the people that I have on board love the industry as well. It's all about buy-in. It's all about getting people on the bus and being like, okay, well, we're all moving in this direction. Do you want to be a part of it? And then it's easy in terms of the knowledge sharing. It's easy in terms of, making sure that they turn up to you at because my background's commercial. I do CFO quarterly, monthly meetings with a lot of my clients. It's bringing them along, is making sure that they've got that contact and they kind of understand, what my vision is for the company and getting buy-in around that.
Okay. So the topic of your talk is why specialization is a powerful strategy for any firm. How has it been powerful for yours? Like, what impact has it had on the finances and structure and so on?
I think from the bottom line, it has had an amazing impact. And I think that comes down to the fact that the value that we're adding around our advisory piece, we feel like, you get to your sweet spot. Once you kind of carve out your niche and you get in that sweet spot, to a certain extent, you can start to dictate the prices, because as long as you're adding value around advisory, the price just follows. So we've been really lucky that, we may not have as many clients on the books as potentially, a firm that started out and is a generalist at the same time. But I do feel like the value in terms of revenue that we have per client and profitability is probably at a higher level.
Right, fantastic. And so, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Is this a strategy that can only be done by someone who's starting out for the first time, or can you pick a specialization in the existing
No, I
firm?
don't think it's starting out. I think it's for people, and also I would say bookkeepers, like you guys, we guys, because I'm part of that, we're all in this amazing, we've all got this amazing opportunity where, we're across the day-to-day, we've got these amazing relationships in play, leverage it, we love our clients, we get our clients, so I just feel like from that point of view, great opportunity. If you want to up your advisory game, or you're going, what, I don't feel like my advice, because I think everyone's like, advisory. What really matters is the client getting a value out of that. So I don't know, I would just say that you guys are in the great position from a bookkeeping point of view to kind of leverage that. And if you want to up your advisory game, I would say consider it and come along to my talk at ABE. And, hopefully I can convince you more about it.
Nice. And that's an interesting point, actually. You do offer bookkeeping services as part of it?
100%. Like I said, I feel like bookkeepers are in such a great position to leverage a strategy like this. You've got that trusted relationship in play already. I just feel like, it's something you should consider.
It's a bit of a hot topic, isn't it? Accounting firms getting into bookkeeping, because some of them, the whole idea about controlling the source of the data, right? Like if you can control it, then it makes it easier for the reporting later on. But I have noticed a couple of firms have really struggled to do it. Have found that it hasn't been so easy to just redirect staff to doing bookkeeping from other activities.
I think again it comes down to getting the right people in play and making sure that they get buy-in and they have client contact. But I totally agree with you on the data point of view. Like if you don't have good data, you're not giving good advisory, and I cottoned onto that very quickly when we started out. How can I sit in front of a board and give great advice if they're going, but what about this? And I'm like, I didn't do the bookkeeping, so quite quickly we learned that to own that whole finance function, so much value in it, so
So would you recommend that as part of a specialization strategy then, like to always include the bookkeeping?
100%. Yeah. Package it up in a way that, it includes basically an entire financial control package, all the way from the bookkeeping up to the advisory piece. And, yes, in short, yes.
Fantastic. Well, look, this is just a teaser of Sarah's amazing session called, again, Why Specialization is a Powerful Strategy for Any Firm. It is on at 3:50 p.m. on Thursday, the 21st of March at the International Conference Centre. Convention Centre, ICCC. I just call it ICCC. ICCC in Darling Harbour. And I think we've got like 90 sessions, and it's going to be all sorts of awesome. So, Sarah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for today. And I'm going to be definitely attending your session. And I love the name Hot Toast. It's a very, I mean, who doesn't like hot toast? You know?
So true, Sholto. You get it. See?
Yeah, totally.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks very much for your time. I'll see you at the show. Bye-bye.